Welcome back to Tech, Tesla, and Trends. We've had an eventful week there with SpaceX launching Starship and the explosive rod, which was disappointing, but in all, there's a lot of excitement that occurs with that launch. The fact that the whole assembly was able to launch from the ground and make it to that altitude tells you the concept's solid. Now they have to tweak it to figure out what little things went wrong, and they'll figure that out. They have the telemetry. And in the long run, this is the standard nature of SpaceX launching any first rocket. They always blow it up. They plan on it, actually. I think they plan on blowing up the first 4 just because they need to have that opportunity to rapidly iterate. Again, these are core concepts that Elon operates by. And in spite of his disappointment, you could see right immediately following, I think the engineer in him just took over afterwards. And now there's new data to actually troubleshoot with and figure out what needs to be tweaked. This is the process. If you fail forward often, you eventually get to the finish line. This is one of those concepts that Elon understands. It's one of those things that all of the people that he's training are learning how to operate with as a core principle. When you fail forward enough, you do cross that finish line, as I've said. And this is how Elon is teaching people to be willing to accept failure. There's nothing wrong in failing at something. In fact, I think that there should be more of celebration involved in our moments of failure. Obviously not in things that are, totally devastating. But when you're learning to do something, failure should be celebrated because it is an act of doing, an act of creation, an act of active learning. And this really matters to the long-term capability of what you as an individual or as a team are able to bring to the world. If you simply accept that, it's got to be perfect, well, that changes the equation. And you will spend more than 10 times more in time and effort. If you need any examples, look at SLS. That sucker is going to cost the American taxpayer billions upon billions. And that's just, that's not even going to generate 5 launches. It's $1 billion a pop, and probably more, given the way that the government accounting works. There's things that are not necessarily truly being added into that cost. Long term, though, the most important principle that SpaceX demonstrated for us last week was that willingness to fail, that vulnerability of process, and not only to be willing to fail, but be willing to fail in front of everyone. They literally are willing to fail in front of everyone because they know that this process is so critically important to their long-term vision. Now, whenever you look at Falcon 9, do you think of all of the explosions? Only if you're watching one of those montages of the number of times they've exploded it. And the first few times they tried to land it on one of the barges, it, rapid and unscheduled disassembly. That's the nature of this game. Any innovation requires that you push forward, that you learn something new. And those new things you're learning, some of them you don't know. And that is the thing that matters most that you learn. And this is one of the reasons why I think SpaceX continues to be at the forefront of the space industry as it develops and at the apex of rocketry in its development today. the next launch of Starship, I'm almost betting they'll have another one. But the third or the fourth, they will succeed. And that's the beauty of what Starship and what SpaceX are in this process. An opportunity to learn, and it is amazing to watch. And that is one big rocket. So we'll talk to you later. Have a great one.